What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome to another episode of Raiders Unfiltered. We got a lot to talk about. It is Overreaction Monday. You already know what time it is. So let's go ahead and get things underway. Here we go.
Inside Allegiant Stadium for the first time this year. Touchdown Raiders! Touchdown Raiders! And for the touchdown! Two from behind! Ball's out! Big man running! Raiders!
Good evening, Raider Nation. Welcome to the show with no filter. Another episode of Raiders Unfiltered. Appreciate you guys. I'm your host. I am Jay Raider. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys go ahead and head on over it. Hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. Appreciate you guys pulling up on this Monday night. We are only 3 more games away from being done with this nightmare of a season. Y'all already know, man. But again, appreciate you guys pulling up and tapping in with me on this Monday night. Welcome to the NFL's version of a Band-Aid, as Gronk says, the Neosporin of the league. Here we are. That's what we are. You already know we're gonna go ahead and get into this, man. What a fucked up game it was yesterday out in Philly. All right, but before we go ahead and get into all the banter and whatnot, let me go ahead and acknowledge my peoples in the building real quick. Shout out to Jack in the building. Salute, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you for pulling up. I know you hit me up on Instagram. Appreciate you making it. Armando in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you tapping in. Tyler in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Benita, hello. How are ya? James in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. My guy Anthony in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you tapping in. Troy Gill in the building. Salute, my guy. Thanks for pulling up. And none other than Moldau Raider in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up and rocking with me on this Monday night. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I did. Yesterday, it was my little girl's birthday, so did a quick post game. Then went out to do this kind of like jamboree jungle gym type of thing where they had like ball pits and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Shut up blast. So, and I want to thank everybody for the happy birthdays to her. I appreciate it, guys. Definitely, loving it. all over here. Thank you for the love. Appreciate you guys. Um, but man, before that, before that, man, we went through another disaster of a game. Raiders lose another one. You already know. I don't even have to like change some of these banners. I just have them up here and just ready to go. I don't have to change much sometimes. That's how bad we are. Um, Again, another embarrassing performance by the Raiders. Another blowout. Raiders going down 31 to nothing. Raiders finally dropping down to 2-12 for the season. Again, 3 more games to go. The nightmare will be over. Just hang on, everyone. We can go ahead and look towards some silver linings coming up, hopefully, in this off season. But yeah, it was another piss poor performance by this Raiders offense. Man, it was hard to watch. And again, I said this yesterday in that post game show. It's just all for all those people out there that were actually afraid that we would actually win this game. I don't know what universe we would have won that game yesterday, and that's a statement by a really good team, a really good struggling team who's played pretty shitty, but we're just that bad that they can come out and just put a belt to ass, clap them cheeks, and just call it a day and go off and get ready for their playoff run. We just look that bad, and like I just said earlier, the band aid of the league, the band aid or the neosporin of uh of the NFL of the league. Literally anybody that we face, if they're struggling, we're that picker upper team that we're the Appalachian version of the NFL. In other words, so we're that warm up team that teams can go ahead and bounce back, get some confidence on, and I'm glad at least we're contributing to the NFL in that sense. Actually, I'm not. I'm just being sarcastic. It's just god awful the way that we've just been playing the last couple of games, but this was really the icing on the cake, pun intended. But again, appreciate you guys. Shout out to my guy, Raider Jeff in the building. Salute my guy. Appreciate you. He says he's going to be on later, so make sure you guys go ahead and pull up and tap in with Jeff later this evening. He's gonna do a show with Jason Downs in a couple hours for sure. See, yep, 3 more and it's over. I can't wait. I'm chomping the bit. I can't wait to get this fucking season over. It's just, man. I told the guys like, y'all think that it couldn't get any worse. This is this is pretty bad. I think this is qualifies as even worse. It sucks for you and for anybody who didn't know. Jeff was out in Philly this weekend. He was out there yesterday. He was at the game, and I know Jeff has a good time, but it's unfair to him and the other Raider fans who showed up. Um, that shout out to Raider Jesse, and I'm missing a couple other people that were out there as well, but um, it's unfair to them to have to go ahead and witness a spectacle like the game yesterday. It was just that fucking awful. So I'm sorry, man. It sucks. At least it would have been cool to see like a little bit more competitive game than that. So yeah. Shout out to my guy Raider Paul in the building. You already know he's already with the
Raiders.
Still, bro. We could be 0-17. I'll still be Raiders. I don't give a fuck, but you already know. Appreciate you, my guy, pulling up and tapping in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see. Yeah, Mendoza. We're getting closer and closer to Mendoza. I don't want to jinx it. We're gonna talk about it. You already know. Yes, sir. Let's see. I say a lot of people do crack nowadays. Okay, bro. Crack kills, bro. Just say no. Let's see. Shout out to my guy Troy. He says, "Who calling the plays, old man Pete or Greg Olson?" That is a good question. I would love to know who is really calling those plays. It's supposed to be Greg Olson. Um, I don't know what times. I'm pretty sure I'm a dub him now. Sneaky Pete. Little throwback to Breaking Bad. Y'all didn't know. If y'all watch Breaking Bad, you know what I'm talking about. Sneaky Pete. Might be Sneaky Pete. Throwing in an audible or a play call here and there. You never know. You never know. Shout out and salute to my guy Tony Chef in the building. Salute, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Cooper in the building. What is good, my guy? Appreciate you. Yes, sir. It was fucking disgusting. It was terrible. I'm sorry. Like I said, man, you guys shouldn't have been subjected to that type of gameplay. It was just fucking awful, man. Yeah, I know you told Jeff to save his money, but hey, it's all good. Never been to, going to Philly, and it's an experience in itself. So I would have gone. I don't care. I already know what time it is. So yeah. Shout out to Frank Weber in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. That man, what it do, my guy? Salute, salute. Appreciate you tapping in. Yes, I see. Loyalty is everything. That's what's up. That's what's up. Afterlife should do it to the Raids. I think that ship has sailed, my friend. I doubt that ever happens. So I don't know. Yeah. Thanks, Caden, for that. Yeah, I know you guys obliterated us. Actually, you guys let off the foot um, early in the fourth, so appreciate that. Appreciate that. So yeah, but let's go ahead and get back into it. Obviously, it was just bad all around. Bad all around. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Pete. We're gonna go ahead and talk about a couple other things as well. Um, Let me go ahead and get some of these things ready to go ahead and roll out. Excuse me, before we go ahead and get into that. All right. Let me see, make sure I got this right. All right, cool. So one thing is for sure. Rookies got kicked yesterday. We got kicked all around, but rookies got kicked. Definitely Caleb Rogers is one of them. He got owned quite a few times, and that is not a bad thing. We knew this was going to happen. A potential of him running into something like this where he's going to go ahead and get outmatched, and that's fine. This is this is what you get when you run the rookies, but it's always another experience. You know, for whatever means, there's always something good that come out of it. In this instance, he got his ass whooped. Let's see how he bounces back in this next game versus the Texans coming up. So, but yeah, he did not. He had a long day. Did not have the best performance. All that offensive line, all of them got cooked. 4 sack day again. Literally, we're on an average to go ahead and average 4 sacks a game. That is fucking insane. I just can't think. I just can't. I can't think that that's the norm now for this season. It's just that we're averaging 3 to 4 sacks per game. I haven't even checked. Let's see, Raiders sacks for allowed 2025. Let's see where we're at. We are at 50 sacks. So if you guys remember going back earlier in the season, probably like week 3, week 4, somewhere around there, I had put up that we're on pace to go ahead and hit about 68. I think that number dropped down to about mid to high 50s. We're on pace to go ahead and hit that. Actually, we're probably on pace to go ahead. We're averaging 4 sacks a game. Even let's go ahead and lowball it and put ourselves at a 3, maybe 2, 3. We're about on pace to hit 60 sacks for the season. We lead the league. That number is insane. That's how bad this offensive line is, and there's no remedy for it. It is what it is. There's no player that we can go ahead and plug in aside from Caleb Rogers that can go ahead and significantly increase the protection in this offensive line. Not even Caleb. I'm sorry. Not even Charles. I'm sorry. I said Caleb Rogers. Not even Charles Grant would even make that type of jump in protection of this offensive line. You know, but for whatever reason, that kid still sits on the bench. I haven't seen him take a snap yet. Don't know when that's gonna happen. Don't know if that's even gonna happen at this point. Yeah, I don't know. But we're on that. We're on that type of level. Kenny's biggest performance, Jesus Christ, that's another tough one. Kenny Pickett, 25, I'm sorry, 15 out of 25, 64 yards, one interception, four sacks for the game. He just looked he struggled. He struggled. The line didn't protect him. He did hold on to the ball. I say quite a bit of times, longer than he probably should have. I think at some point where he knows that line is just they just cannot compete. They just can't. It just cannot last more than 2 seconds. I think he needs to just be in that mindset. You just need to go. You just need to go. That's kind of the only thing you can do at this point. But yeah, hey, we'll see. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that there you have it. I mean, there was not a lot of production offensively. Genty, another one. Genty having very little production. 9 carries, only 35 yards. He averaged 3.9 per clip. But in the grand scheme of things, 35 yards is really a microscopic number for him. Does not even go ahead and really set the bar at all. So, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that right now, about Ashton Genty and um, that whole thing, that whole debacle, right? Um, Let me put this up real quick. All right. Okay, let me put this up. All right. Genty a bust, right? Shout out to my guy 805. He brought this up yesterday. Um, you know, with his stats, his performance wise, just not the inability to go ahead and really get anything going offensively through the ground. Now we're coming up again in this topic of Genty possibly being bust. This is my take on it. I don't think he's a bust. I think it's with this offensive line, it's just hard for anybody to fucking get anything going. I don't give a damn. I don't even think Barry Sanders could have fucking get anything positive going with this offensive line. It's just that bad. It's just that bad. We've seen flashes. My thing is, and you already know if you guys were rocking with me early in the offseason, I was not a proponent of picking up Genty at all. But once he was picked, it is what it is, right? Nothing you can do. He's here now. We got him, and that's it. Should we have picked him up? No, not really. Not with this offensive line. And I think me, Jeff, a lot of people, a lot of other content creators were calling for this offensive line to be fixed. And for whatever reason, that perception was totally missed. Totally missed. I don't know how, because there was a slight increase in performance the last, 3 or 4 games uh, uh, leading up to the end of the season that popped that idea in their heads that, hey, this line is okay. We could get by with this line. Total misjudgment, and we're seeing this now. The assessments and everything that the measurements, everything that was done in the offseason was basically totally wrong, and it's showing out on the field, and that's where we're at now. So hopefully this is now living proof that you need to be on point with your assessment. And we're going to talk about Pete and the future. We talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about it again. Some more things kind of came out with Pete and his perception of things. And yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and get into that. But it's just the whole misjudgment of this offensive line, the season, the personnel, everything. This is just a byproduct of that. We're seeing the result of not going after certain guys in free agency, not drafting certain guys as well. So, and well, not playing your draft picks until like the last what 5-6 games at the end of the season, which some guys had potential of possibly making an impact. I don't know. Even this kid who had who probably had the worst game of his life yesterday still look better than some of these line guys currently starting right now for sure. All right. Let me go to the chat real quick. Again, appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with me on this Monday night. If you guys haven't done so, again, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. It does to go ahead and help to put the show out into the YouTube universe. Salute to everybody out here. Salute to everybody, whether you guys are at work, at the crib. Hopefully, you guys are at the crib already. If you guys going to work, salute to everybody on the midnight grind, all the overnight workers, man. Salute. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Let's see here, real quick. Tony says, anyone know who that backup QB was in KC? He looks familiar. Yeah, I think his name is Booger Minshew, something along those lines. I know he likes to pick his nose and eat boogers, something like that. And that was very that was very comical the way that game ended in versus KC and the Chargers yesterday as well. Ray Paul says, I'll be at the Super Bowl. I'll be at Super Bowl weekend in San Jose Bay Area. Let's black it out. There you go. There you go. Let's see here. Shout out to my guy Rosetown. Salute, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Ray Ryan in the building. One of my members here at JRB. Salute, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Charles Graham played 6 snaps, but I believe I didn't see him out there. I did miss some time. Like at a point, like I had to get ready to head on out with the fam. So I was busy doing that. So I wasn't paying attention. Some of the games, especially when it started getting out of hand. You could kind of tell once they went up 3 scores. I was like, it's over. It's over. I think it was like 17-0. I'm like, this is over. And then the next touchdown, I'm like, okay, that seals it. Yeah. So Troy says, please fire old man Pete and his sons. This is embarrassing, and don't think any coach would want to come here. I hope Tom Brady and Spatic have a good plan, because this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a very interesting offseason. We're going to go ahead and get into the whole Pete thing, Pete rumors, all that bullshit. We're going to go ahead and get into it in just a bit. Here, let me pull this up. Well, I'm going to pull it up in a bit. Pete rumors. Okay. We're getting into the whole Pete's thing and Pete's rumors, all that good stuff. All right. Let me go ahead and take a few more from the chat, and we'll get back into it. Rosetown says, we need to throw the big man Tossie out there on that O-line. Can't get any worse. 100%, dog. 100%. It can't get any worse. Like 31 to fucking nothing. Where this line literally gets literally worked over. I don't have I had a joke and my man lost it, but you know what I mean. This line gets really worked over. Then a hooker on the corner. There you go. Or no, I tried. If it's like, sorry. Try to make a funny joke. All right. Let's see. Jeff says fastest game. That was okay, and that's another thing. And I thank you for pointing that fucking out. Um, I thought I was tripping. I thought honestly it was the TV, like Fox, really really making this game fly by. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're just cutting through and they're they're elongating the commercials more and then they're just coming in on certain plays or whatever, but it really did seem fast. um I think they kind of were more lax on that clock and they didn't stop it as much. I mean, obviously, the way that Philly literally lit us up on the ground. I mean, they put up basically 200 yards on the ground. So yeah, it makes sense that this game went by really fast. Yeah, 2.5 hours is really fast. I'm like, damn. I was gonna get ready to go ahead and go on like a little bit early anyway, because I knew this game was gonna be out of touch. I mean, come on, let's face it. And I had plans. We were gonna go out and stuff. So I'm like, cool. I'm gonna go on a little bit early, you know, 15 minutes early, and I'm getting dressed, getting ready to go, and I'm like, the game is almost over. It was like 9 minutes. Then next thing you know, it was like 5 minutes, and then take long. I'm like, bro, like it hasn't even passed like really five, like we're in 5 minutes like real time, and it was already like 3.5 minutes that had passed by. So it's like Jesus Christ, this game is going super super fast. So yeah, I'm glad it was just not me tripping or something, and I didn't drink or I didn't smoke yesterday, so glad I'm sane. Troy says Genty's the best. I don't agree with that. So, but hey, it's all good, man. It's just it's hard to. I don't give a damn who it is. You can put fucking Josh Jacobs, bring back Josh Jacobs at this line. I doubt he fucking does anything significant. It's just he's just not. He's just not. Let's see. GMS says tight lid, bro. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. No, I've been rocking. I've been having this one for a minute, so it's cool. Appreciate you. Old man Pete thought Genty was the next Reggie Bush. He had at USC. Uh, again, there flashes, but when you have a shitty offensive line that can't block for shit, you can only do so much. That's my take on Genty. I don't think he's a bust. I would like to see. I will want to give him one more year and see that once this line is upgraded to see how he really performs. And if we get, I mean, those numbers are going to go up, but if we don't get certain numbers, so if he's not hitting over, he's not threading 100 yards plus a per game on an upgraded offensive line, yeah, we can go ahead and start making those assessments. I don't want to go ahead and put the jury out. When you're getting 4 sacks a game, dog, come on. It's hard. I don't know. I just don't agree with that. I want to give him one more year, see what this kid has. Josh says, I'm glad Pete is going to be out. Yep. It's starting to look that way. Pete hasn't even hit his prime yet. I don't know. That blue chew be saying different, dog. I think that blue chew is wearing out. GMX Carroll played his cards right to get that first round pick next year. I don't think he's even going to be here to see that through for sure. Afterlife says we need Tom Cable. I do not want to revisit. I don't want to do a Tom Cable 2.0, bro. That was not a good time. That was not a good time. Let's see here. Um, watching it live in the freezing cold and went for like 5 hours. Fuck, I bet, dog. Jesus. And then they got snow. The like most of the eastern seaboard, at least the northern half, got some snow yesterday. So or over the weekend. So that's great. Um, But let's kind of go ahead and move on here. Um, you know, and I wanted to go. Let's go ahead and to get into the nitty gritty. So we're talking about Pete. And I was a little hesitant on possibly doing a show today, but a lot of shit on Pete, and I want to kind of go ahead and sound off on this whole Pete shit, on this whole season leading up to this point. And just seeing that piss poor performance yesterday. If nothing is a bigger indicator on why Pete Carroll should not be here. Yesterday game should be that game. It should be that specific game that just seals his fate. I mean, there's a lot of shit that's happened over this season that is a fireable offense, but I mean, what this is I mean, two shutouts, two shutout blowouts. We got blown out what four times this season, maybe five. I've already lost count. But for sure, we got skunked twice already, and we got KC coming up. I don't expect even with Mahomes out for the season. I still expect we get that cheeks clap on that day. So I'm not even taking that game even remotely serious. But Pete's perception is just I don't know. I don't know if it's like he's just trying to be positive or if he's just really out of touch with reality. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm gonna go ahead and play something, and and this is the presser that he did, and it just kind of goes to show you where his mindset is at. Pete really thought. I mean, he came out early in the season, and right before the season started, saying we're gonna win 10 games with this fucking team. Okay, cool. We're gonna win 10 games. I don't see it, but okay, go for it. And after that, week one, and we got reality checked by the chokers. Shit got real quick, and everybody fucking knew at that point. And I think it really that like that reality check really like became a real thing. I think with that Bears game, right? We just lost it, but we lost to the fucking Bears, a team that was struggling themselves, and we gave them fucking life. And then every game after that has just been a shit show. It's been a shit show. So I don't know. That's what I say. I don't know if it's Pete really by trying to go ahead and really mind fuck himself into thinking this team is better than what it really is, or he's really out of touch with reality. I don't know. But let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Shout out to my guy, Raider Resistance. If you don't follow Raider Resistance, make sure you go ahead and go onto Instagram. Hit that follow button for my guy, Raiders Resistance. Appreciate him on the fire content as always. Again, Pete thought he would make the Raiders a playoff team. Let's go hear what he had to say about this. Here's Pete in his own words.
The talent just was just off with not being able to.
I blindly optimistic as I am, I thought we would come in here and we'd have a big factor on this club, and we would be able to, find success that we would be proud of. And right now, it doesn't feel like that.
Just an evaluation of.
There you have it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think about that. I mean, it's a hard thing to it's just a hard thing to kind of fathom. it, that optimism from Pete, I think it's just him trying to mind fuck himself into really thinking like this team is better than what it really is in his mind, but that's not the reality of it. And that's the thing with 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 Pete, and that's a disservice that he made to this team. And I think it's a lot of it's ego driven. I don't know. Y'all could disagree with me on that one, but I really think this is ego driven. And I think if he would have been would have been closer to reality and made better assessments and judged things better and just been in the now, right? Where he sees the it's not he doesn't have those fucking blinders on and just things and see things for what they really are. We're a shed team. We didn't address things in the off season. You're only going to get so much. You keep running shitty play after shitty play, thinking it's going to go ahead and work, and it's not. Shitty play calling from both sides of the ball. It just the execution is not there. He's saying we're executing, and it's just the statements that he makes, especially after those fucking pressers, which I stopped watching. It's just I can't fucking do it. I don't even watch the daytime presses anymore. Maybe if I'm that bored, I'll go ahead and fuck around and pull up to one and chime in and hear what he has to say. But most of the time, it's just fucking garbage, just bullshit. It's just for me, it's a sell that he's just trying to sell us on why this team fucking sucks, or try to go ahead and really sell us that this team is better than what they really are. But this nation, we are the most critical fan base in football. You cannot sell us and try to fucking say, "Hey, that shit right there, that fucking turd, that's a steak." It's not a steak, Pete. Shit. Come on now. Let's get back to reality. This is this is a fucking reason, and he's making statements like we're in December, y'all. This is not like he made the statement in September, late September, early October. I would, I would let that pass. I would let that pass. I'll let that fly. But we're like a week away from Christmas, and you're making fucking statements like that. It's come on, come on. But you guys, let me know what you guys think about what you guys fucking heard. I want to know you guys' opinion. Again, this is therapy. This has just been a dog shit of a season. I want to hear you guys' takes on it as well. Let me know. Appreciate you guys pulling up. Let's see here. Josh says, yeah, he knows he's gonna retire. I hope so. I hope so. Let's see. Did you guys shout to go to did you guys see Crosby talking shit to 50 to Coons? I saw to Devin White, and that's kind of been out there. Um, that whole spat with Devin White, and it's gonna happen. And it was that touchdown where they got beat on the edge, and that was a misassignment by White for sure, and justified. I don't know, Devin White, he's just not that good. That's just what it is. He's very streaky. He's very streaky. Yeah, I seen that. Not the first time Crosby and White got into it. Yep. They didn't get into it. It was Max and Rob, and kind of Devin White interjected himself into that argument or disagreement, whatever you want to go ahead and call it. But yeah, that was that's happened before. So it's gonna happen. I mean, this is it's football, it's competitiveness, and when you start losing, and you're losing the way we're losing, and you're performing the way you're performing, you're gonna have things like that come out. You're gonna see that on the field. So it's just it is what it is. It's hey, Max is being Max. So let's see. A shout out to Raiders News Central. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for pulling up. Salute, my guy. Let's see. It just sucks if they are showing emotions on the field. I can only imagine what the locker room looks like. I bet tensions are super high right now, bro. That is a dog. That locker room, if it hasn't been lost already, it will fucking be really, really soon. And again, going back to Pete and what his whole perception and his Pete's own reality that he has. When he was asked about the locker room, it was the same thing. It's just him denying that he's lost the locker room. I think that locker room is, if it hasn't been lost, is on the verge to go ahead and go out the window. If we have another performance like we did yesterday, it's gone. It's gone. You can't blame anybody. You can't blame them for feeling the way they feel. They're competitors at the end of the day. What do you expect? You can only ask so much from guys who go out and give it their all. There's going to be guys who are going to be like, fuck this. I'm going to go ahead and just play for my check, do the bare minimum, and then I'm out at the end of the year. Especially the guys with the 1 year, they're only going to play so much. They got to preserve themselves, right? Business decision for next year when they find another team, come call in, whatever. I mean, they're still playing, and they're still going to try to go ahead and play hard because, again, they're playing. It's like a resume. You're trying to go ahead and put yourself out there, put your product out there, so that way another team can come call in. But they can also too. It's like we're getting a belt to ass. There's going to be a certain point where you're like, "Fuck this, I'm done. I'm not going to go ahead and, sprint my ass off to try to go ahead and tackle this dude to." We're down 4 scores. Why the fuck am I going to do that? You're going to have guys with that mindset. So, but again, Pete was asked about the locker room, man. This is kind of what he had to say. So again, let's hear what Pete had to say. Shout out again to my guy Raiders Resistance on the content.
You told us and talked about the preseason how you expected this team to be competitive and to be one that would fight. And I'm not saying they've quit, but with 2 wins.
Oh, these guys fought their ass off. Hold on. Let me address that because you brought it up. They fought their ass off. That was the result. They didn't stop fighting. That was the result of our play right there. And I have a lot of respect for the roster we just played against. And maybe they didn't look like it in the last couple of weeks or whatever, but they played like they're capable, and we couldn't stop them. And so that's what I saw.
You told us and talked about reiterating what I said. I'm not saying they've quit. I'm asking you, what with this team where they are right now, what do you think that is going on? Because you didn't think this is where they would be.
Well, I would never think we would. What would I base that thought on, that we would be really fighting for our life here? I have nothing but wins and background and history and all of that to set our expectations and to maintain the standards that we work by. And that's what we're doing. We're still doing it. We're still practicing hard. We're still working hard. We're still studying hard. The guys are giving good effort. They're in the weight room. They're fighting their tails off. The only good thing that happens, we didn't get anybody hurt today, But they're doing all we're asking them, and this is the result of it against the world champs last year, who maybe weren't playing quite like that for a month here or whatever, but they look like it today. They look like a great team today.
Yeah, we are the Neosporin of the league. That's what we are, Pete. That's what you made this team into. But wait, there's more.
The nature of your football team, but it felt like today there was almost a breaking point where maybe not kind of checked out, but there was a little bit of a breaking point today. It felt like a little competitive nature. you sense that with this team? What do you have to do?
No, I don't sense that at all. I don't think there's that issue. I think we got beat. And this is a very, very well-loaded team. And they just did their thing today on both sides of the ball, and they really took it to us. We couldn't stop their offense and get off the field on third down, and a couple penalties got in our way, and they were able to do what they needed to do. They ran for a bunch. They threw really highly efficient stuff. Wasn't taxing for them. We couldn't make it hard on them, and we couldn't get out of the way on offense. We couldn't make any yards, and so that third downs and all that. I mean, I don't think it's some big psychic change that took place. I think we just got whipped by a really loaded football team, and that on this day had their way.
So there you have it. They fought their ass off. They didn't quit. They played hard. There was no bullshit. Okay, B. I don't know what fucking game he's watching. I think he's probably watching. I think he's so focused on the sideline he forgets that that's the opposing team rather than his own team. I really think that possibly happens. He kind of gets confused on the teams. He's like, oh, okay. Like, they look good out there. They fought hard. Come on. You had guys quit. You could see it on the field. It was so bad. Yesterday's game was just terrible. And you're seeing the dysfunction. You're seeing the toxicity start to boil onto the field. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. Shout out to my guy, Sacktown Rated Mike in the building. Salute my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Frank says, yeah, we're the NFL's get well card. I like that one. That's a good one, bro. We are the definitely get well card. We're the cortisone shot to the struggling NFL teams. Just come see us. We'll make you feel better. You can just go ahead and have target practice on our ass. And we can't score for shit, so you don't even have to worry about that. It's just like a good practice. It's just like good practice. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, see, Bueno says, nah, those motherfuckers stopped fighting. Yep, for sure they did. When you go up 3-4, you're down 3-4 scores, you're gonna stop fighting. When you 31-0, and your offense can't execute, they can't enter the red zone to save their fucking life. Are you really gonna go out there and like keep on, fighting? You're not. I don't blame them for not wanting to. Just be like trying to be on their being in their shoes. It's hard. It's hard. If you played a sport, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And if you played on a shitty, if you had the luck, I'm playing on a shitty team, and I played on some shitty team, and I played on good teams. When you play on a shitty team, it fucking sucks, especially when you're getting blown out. It's not fun. You don't really want to try it. You just want the fucking nightmare to be over, right? And we play with good teams. It's fun, right? You're like, cool. We're having built to ass to everybody. But that's just how it goes. My thing is this: you're doing a disservice trying to be the fucking rah-rah coach and not being real, not coming to terms with the problems that you currently have in house. And that's been the issue all season long. You're not addressing the problems that we've been having. At this point, it's too late. It's 3 games, 3 games away from the season being over. What the fuck can you do? But there was a certain point, especially early on in the season, that you could possibly done something. But you were so caught up in your own ego and your own reality that you never gave yourself a fair assessment. You never gave the team a proper assessment, and this is where we're at. This is a byproduct of that. So yeah, it is what it is. Dude be sounding like a politician, not an NFL coach. Facts, Frank. Facts for sure. Yeah, we're the NFL's bye week. 100%. 100%. Let's go on to this. Let's move on to this part. Again, 3 games away from the nightmare being over. And the rumors are already starting to swirl around Pete. What's going to happen? There's a lot of things that are going on, and we're going to go ahead and touch base on this in just a second. And everything's kind of have everything kind of going hand in hand today. But Pete, the future of Pete, a future of the Raiders. What does this mean? We have Black Monday coming up in just a few weeks, about 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks. What's going to happen the day after the season is over? What does this mean for Pete Carroll? Right. And I hope this is true. And I'm going to go ahead and post this up. And this article came out from NBC Sports. Now, again, it's a rumor. They're putting it out there. And I hope, and there might be a little bit of fact to that. There might be a little bit more credibility because it is NBC Sports. You got to kind of watch the kind of shit they put out there. But if this is true, then it gives hope to the nation, to this team in this upcoming offseason on their plans to go ahead and move forward, especially if we land high on that draft order. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Let's see here. Raiders are considering to buy out Pete Carroll's contract per NBC Sports. So this came out the other day. An article saying that there's some people, especially in that front office, speculating that Pete Carroll will have to agree to some type of negotiated resolution to see if Pete Carroll will retire at the end of the season and receive a portion of his contract that's owed to him per NBC Sports, right? So basically, and then I know Jeff kind of put that idea out there, and I agree because this is kind of what makes sense. Because you guys, for one, got to keep in mind, feel however you feel about Pete right now. He's right. He's accomplished. He's won. He has many accolades. Think about it as a five-star general, right? Or 4-star general. This guy's done the whole thing. Hall of Famer. You got to treat these guys with a certain level of respect. You have to take care of them and save face. You can't embarrass a guy like this, right? Even though he's putting us through a season like this, and it's been rough, it's been comical at times, but even that, and there's a reason for that. The reason being is that if we're hoping to land any coach in the future, it's already bad enough that we have to go ahead and part ways with another head coach. But to have it done to a guy like Pete Carroll, his stature and the accolades he's done, it's kind of a little bit of a black eye. I mean, it sucks. And be what it may, you got to treat this with kid gloves. For anybody with a high profile or good profile to come and coach this team after him, we need some sort of good light to shine on us in order for us to be able to attract some people. It's still going to be difficult. And I forgot who said it earlier. I think it was could be wrong. I think it was Troy. Maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. I forgot. I have to scroll back and see who said that, but nobody's going to want to come here. That's for sure. If you clip Pete the way you're going to clip Pete, and I hope it doesn't come to that, I have a strong feeling that's gonna happen. But if we clip Pete in a bad manner, you outright fire the dude, no one's gonna come one here to coach. You're gonna have to throw a lot of fucking money at this. You already got to throw. Mark is gonna have to throw a lot of money at this, regardless of the fact. Regardless, but for damn sure, there's gonna be a big hesitation on anybody of a reputable, anybody who has a good rep, a good reputation, who's reputable. They're gonna be very very skeptical on coming over here because they know if they can't produce in year one, they're gonna be out the door. And it's fucked up that Peak had to put us in if you damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situation. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So we're kind of fucked, and it sucks. But if this is true, then this would be a really good outcome. It will still be difficult for us to go ahead and be able to track top talent coaching wise, and just our history is not a good history, right? I'm gonna say this because I know there's some people out there that um, are hesitant on doing this whole turnover thing. But again, we're in a position that if we're damn if we do, damn if we don't. Are we really gonna want to go ahead and roll with another 2 years, another year of this fucking of this sham of a team? This is really where we're at. The nation, I don't think the nation can endure another repeat season like this. This is probably the worst I've ever seen. I mean, the diehards, like even me, I'm just it's hard to go ahead and muster up the energy to go ahead and watch 4 quarters of straight dog shit for 3 hours. I love this team to my core. I will never go to another team. But it's hard to go ahead and expect the nation to really stand by and watch this type of performance for another year. So for the people who want to go ahead and have us endure another dog shit of a year, no way, no way. Tell me anybody. Go ask anybody out there. Ask any real fan out there if they if they want to keep Pete Carroll for another fucking season and go through this fucking shit show again for another year. Something has to give. Something has to give. And it ain't us. It ain't damn well us. Because we're the ones that put fucking asses in those seats. We're the ones that buy the merch. We're the ones that spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on this fucking team. I buy merch in the off season. If I see something, I'll buy it. I'll go to Raider Image if I'm out in Vegas, and I'll buy a hat at least. I'm a hat guy, but if I see something else, I'll go ahead and buy it. This is who we are. But to go ahead and really, keep the majority of this fan base, something has to change. We have to look better. And don't confuse with us having a winning season with just being competitive and having wins. It's two different things. We know that this thing, we're not going to go ahead and completely go to playoffs the next year, right? We have to have some type of reality. I know the trumpet sound at first. We're out here. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to fucking dominate. Yeah, but then come week 2, come week 3, we get reality check. Okay, all right, we'll see what happens. That's most Raider fans. We get it. That's the type of people who we are. We're passionate about our team. Cool, but to really go ahead and really keep this team behind you keep the fan base behind this team, something has to change. Pete Carroll cannot be here if you want to go ahead and put asses in cheeks. It's just the bottom line. You're having dudes out there saying, "Don't fucking go to games." You know, I'm not the dude who's gonna tell you what to do with your money. Go if you want to go out there and be a part, support your team, support the team. Go ahead and watch this team live. Do it. It's an experience in itself. It's fun. Even if you get an ass whooping like we did in Philly, Jeff still had a fucking great time. Ask Jeff. Jeff had a great time. Jeff sent us a bunch of fucking pictures. Jeff posted up a lot of shit. People still enjoy themselves, but will they make it more of a prerogative to go out to a game if they're winning? Will they make it more prerogative to go ahead and buy merch and yada yada, so on and so forth? It's not just about that. It's just the spirit of winning. We deserve better. We've been deserving better. It's time. It's time. We are on that point where we're so close to the number one pick, the number one overall pick in this draft. We haven't had that in 10, 11 years? I forgot. Was it? I think we drafted. Was it Jamarcus? 2010? Something like that. It's been a long fucking time. We're due. We're that close. And we can't have something fuck that up. It's time. Shout out to my guy Troy. He says, I'm a Raider fan until they put dirt on me. Facts, bro. Same. 2007. It's been that fucking long. So we're almost 20 years. Let me see when we had the last draft. I don't know offhand. See, 2007. So almost 20 years ago was the last time we had the number one overall pick. And we don't even have a fucking great track record of that. We can't let a guy like Pete be that guy, because watch Pete still be here. He'll fucking go drop a corner or some fucking shit like that. We know where the problems lie. We've been saying it till our faces are turning blue. We need an offensive line. We need a quarterback for the future. We keep trying to go ahead and try to patch this thing up with journeyman quarterbacks and just try to put a temporary band-aid on this and hoping we can go ahead and find a reincarnated version of Rich Gannon. This is not the same league that it was over 20 years ago. This is not the same league. We can't be thinking in the past, and that's been a lot of our downfall. It has. How many times have you guys seen, just entertain this shit for me, how many times have you guys seen either on Twitter or on Instagram about bringing back Derek Carr, bringing back John Gruden 3.0? How many times have you guys seen that? Bisaccia, bring back Del Rio, et cetera. You're hearing all that shit. You hear that every once in a while. We are so programmed to live in the fucking past, but this game is ever evolving. And in order for us to be competitive, in order for us to make an impact, if we really want to go ahead and see the playoff, we need to start thinking in the future. Until then, we're always going to be mediocre. We're always going to be just short. We're always going to be trapped in that. weird purgatory of mediocrity. You guys let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know. I'm just done with being in mediocrity. If we're gonna go ahead and if this is true, and Pete Carroll is gonna be departing next month, do shit the right way. Burn the shit down. Burn, clip all the coaching staff. Let's start anew. If you're gonna keep Spy-Tech, let Spy-Tech go ahead and do the hiring. Give them, like I said, give them your wish list. Give them the guys that you guys want for interview, but he should also want to go ahead and interview his people as well. People who think that will make an impact here with the Raiders. And this is a thing what I hear about, if you bring in a new coach, they're going to want to go ahead and maybe get rid of some players. Hey, it might be it. But guess what? This is why you also have interviews. It's still a job at the fucking day. And if you don't, if their vision doesn't align kind of what this organization is trying to go ahead and fucking do, and the players that they currently have, then maybe that's not your guy. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Right? But easier said than done. I get it. You got to get the asses in that seat first to go ahead and interview, and that's a tall order in itself. Having us go through so many coaches year after year after year after year. I get it, 100%. But if we do go ahead and part ways with Pete, everybody needs to go ahead and get clipped. Nobody should be exempt. Even guys like Robbie Leonard, great guy, potential. He has to go. It sucks. He would be a guy that we would have to go ahead and let go and bring in somebody else to go ahead and be the guys, new coaching staff. Let the head coach design the guys that they want. Hang on one second, guys. All right, sorry. My son is crawling. He crawled over here. That's who you hear in the background. He's having a time today. But Spy-Tech needs to be the guy who is in control. There needs to be a hierarchy set. That hierarchy needs to be enforced. It is so important that happens that way. All these other teams fucking do it. Why are the Raiders the only ones that don't do that? We saw that happen only a few times. If you guys think back, Reggie McKenzie, when he was the GM, he was here for his stint, and we saw some success, but that was short lived, and he got clipped with the regime that he was tied to. And that's the whole thing about the blueprints out there is just we always try to fucking reinvent the wheel somehow. And I just don't get it. I'm gonna go ahead and pause on this rant. Again, appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with me on this Monday night. Again, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on this channel. Let's go ahead and get into the much anticipated draft talk. And as always, let's go ahead and pull up Tankathon. And we're going to go ahead and see the current draft standings for this team. So we currently have the second overall pick, right behind the New York Giants, both with a record of 2-12. Based on the strength of schedule, Giants currently have a slight edge. This is probably going to boil down to the Tank Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks, I should say, in Vegas. that's going to be an interesting one on who's going to go ahead and literally that's going to be a game to play for the #1 overall pick. That's on the line. So interesting how that's going to go ahead and play out. And that's a game that honestly people should be kind of worried about. You know, both teams are not great. Giants, they have Jackson Dart, and I think they have a slight edge because of that. But even them, they're struggling themselves. I think this game is going to be much closer. It could be anybody's game. I think I still give the edge to the Giants. I think they'll be able to go ahead and get the win out of Vegas. But that's probably going to be the closest game in the last 3 games. And that's going to be for the big one on the line. If there's anything positive that we can go ahead and kind of look towards, it's going to be this game versus the Giants in a couple of weeks in Las Vegas. But, there's different thoughts with us being the second pick or getting #1. You have people who, like you had Rated Paul here earlier, get Mendoza. He's a Mendoza guy. You got other guys chiming off on Mendoza. You got more guys. You got Ty Simpson guys. You have guys like Jeff. Trade back, get some more draft capital, and build up your line. Get your guy out down the road or whatever. There's so many different ways you can go ahead and go about it. Obviously, the way that this offseason is looking, it looks like we're going to need about 16 to about 18 starting positions. Again, you don't have to go ahead and hit everybody all in one shot during the draft. There's free agency. It's a combination of both. But, hey, one thing is for sure. You gotta address offensive line. 100%. You cannot ignore that anymore. If this game wasn't a fucking reality check on how bad this offensive line was, that Cleveland game, the Browns game in Vegas with a 10 sack game, if that wasn't reality check, I don't know what the fuck is. But that needs to be addressed first and foremost, whether you can go out and get a guard, you can go out and get a top tackle, whatever your heart's desire, something has to be addressed with this offensive line, right? There's, the center position, there's different ways that we can go about that. We can still go through the draft. We can go through free agency. You have the center from Baltimore, from the Ravens. His option wasn't picked up. I still think he's probably going to go ahead and stay in Baltimore. They're going to go ahead and figure that part out. They might want him on a long-term basis, but if they fuck up and decide, hey, we're going to go ahead and explore and we're going to go ahead and draft our guy through free agency, cool. That's where you spend your money. You need to go ahead and go out and get them. I doubt that happens, but stranger things have happened. So, Linderbaum, keep forgetting his name. Tyler Linderbaum, if he becomes available and Baltimore does not figure that part out, that's a guy that we need to go ahead and pick up and keep here on a long-term deal. That will be the center, a true center for years to come if he hits free agency. And that's going to, trust me, it's going to be a bidding war. There's going to be a lot of suitors. But if we play this right, that is a guy you're definitely going to go ahead and take a flyer and put some money into this line. And that's the thing. And I don't care what I don't care what the front office says. You got to put money into this fucking offensive line, and that's how you become competitive. You need to build this. You need to build up this offensive line. Everything is based off of it. We've seen what happens when you don't have a good offensive line. You just can't get anything going. You can't get anything started. You can't get a run game going. Can't get protection. It's just difficult. Difficult. Shout out to my guy Arnie in the building. Salute, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Let's see here. Bueno says, how crazy would it be if we finish the season with the number 1 pick and the NFL decides to punish Brady for being in the coach's box and they take our pick? That is, bro, that is not out of the realm of possibility. Don't ask me why. It just, they always find a way to fuck us every year. But I mean, they've already ruled saying that it's okay for Brady to be there and do his thing, and it's not a conflict of interest, and yada yada. So hopefully that stays true. So yeah, we'll see. Are the Giants looking to draft a QB? As far as I know, they are not. At least not a top quarterback like a Fernando Mendoza. They got Jackson Dart. I think they like what they see in Jackson Dart. I think they need to see more. I think they need to go ahead and get him some weapons. So I don't know. This is a thing though. And this is what can happen. This is what makes people nervous at times. So if we stay at number 2 at the end of the season and the Giants are number 1, the Giants can always go ahead and trade out of number 1, trade back, and give that pick to whatever needy team, get some draft capital, and they can go ahead and get their missing pieces through the draft, right? Through a lower draft order. And Mendoza can get swiped. We saw that happen the year prior with Michael Penix, everybody's thinking, oh, cool, we're gonna go ahead and pick up Penix. Atlanta fucked us. That's just how it goes, right? A lot of things that happen, we just don't know for certain. You don't have, and nothing's guaranteed until you have the number 1, right? That's just the bottom line. But you can make a fair assessment if the Giants are going to stick at 1, they're going to keep their pick. They're most likely not going to get a quarterback. They're going to go ahead and address whatever other issue they have going on. I don't know. I don't keep up with the Giants, so I can tell you on what they're kind of leaning towards. So yeah, but my thing is they're most likely not going to get a quarterback. So let me pull up the draft order real quick. Hang on one second. And I'll pull it up real quick. Shout out to my guy Haas, my guy Jay. Appreciate you pulling up. Dart is gonna be their guy. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. It's my boy there from high school. Salute to my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Let's see here. All right, let me go ahead and pop this up. Shout out to my guy, Raider Nation Jason in the building. Salute my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. All right. So aside from below us, at number 3 is Tennessee currently. Obviously, they got Cam Ward. That would be crazy if they move on from Cam Ward. I think they want to kind of explore that. They want to see what this kid has. Again, he showed flashes. He's young. He's ripe. They're not in a good situation either. But I think they want to go ahead and explore what Cam has to offer, right? You got Cleveland they got too many quarterbacks, so I don't know if they're going to go out and try to go ahead and drop one. Stranger things have happened. They could. New York could be the team that actually goes out and get a quarterback. I know they have Justin Fields, but that's not panning out. So they're probably going to they could be a team that goes out and get a quarterback. Arizona, same thing with Kyler Murray. Sounds like they want to go ahead and move on from Kyler Murray. So they might be a team that we got to go ahead and look out for that could be possibly picking up, and if at least if they don't move on from Kyler Murray, they can always go ahead and draft his successor for the next years to come. So that can always be a possibility as well. Number 7, which is it's the Saints. They just picked up Tyler Shaw. I think they like Tyler Shaw from what I'm hearing. They got Spencer Rat as well. They're not doing great, but they got those guys. I think they're a little bit high on Tyler Shaw, so I don't see nothing much happening from there. Nothing happening from there. Number 8 with the Commanders. Obviously, they already got Jaden Daniels. He's had a fucked up year with injuries. I doubt they want to go ahead and draft another quarterback to replace him. I think they want to go ahead and see how this next year kind of pans out. With year 1 really being a benchmark, they went all the way to the NFC championship game. And I think just because of the injury to JD5, they probably just want to go ahead and give them another year before they start going towards that avenue again. But again, you just never know. They can always draft his successor in the future, especially if he continues to be injury prone. That can always be a possibility. Number 9 with this Bengals. Fuck, don't get me started with the Bengals. I know we're getting into the Joe Burrow talk. With Joe Burrow maybe exiting Cincinnati, they could be a team also to look out for picking up a successor to Joe Burrow. They can move up. If we're not able to go ahead and secure that number 1 pick, and Giants stay there, that's a team also that can to look out for on possibly making a big move on getting a quarterback. Number 10, same thing. I don't see Matthew Stafford going anywhere, but obviously he's up in age. He only has maybe a couple more years left. The plan to go ahead and try to get his successor could definitely be in place. So there's a few teams in the top 10 that could be teams to look out for that can possibly make a deal to go ahead and go up there and get a Mendoza, get a Dante Moore, Ty Simpson. There's not too many names in this QB class to go ahead and really look out for. They're going to be hot commodities, but there's a few teams, but right now it's looking like Mendoza is kind of the clear cut number 1 in that quarterback class so far. We'll see. Shout out to my guy Arnie. He questioned who is our best rookie this year, who is our best free agent this year. Man, the rookie side. See, this is the thing, and honestly, man, it's kind of hard to assess your first part of that question because a lot of these rookies haven't played much. We've seen so much from Jack Bash limited. We're finally starting to get we're starting to finally see him get some more targets. Dante Thornton got a lot of targets early on, but the production wasn't there. Right? He had trouble running the routes, getting open, catching these balls. Darren Porter, same thing. Didn't get a lot of burn. And up until recent, we're finally starting to see Caleb Rogers get some burn. So it's hard to see. Ashton Jensen's been really the only one consistent as far as playing time, and he's been really wishy-washy. So, and part of it's his fault, part of it's the offensive line. So I guess if I had to give you an answer, it's probably going to be Genty because of that playing time. Who's our best free agent this year? Honestly, I don't think there's really a best free agent that I've been 100% impressed on. Maybe Jamal Adams, but yeah, even that, man, that's limited as well. Um, yeah, there hasn't been really a guy that I've been like say, hey, this guy's our best free agent out there. Um, you have Thomas Booker who's shown flashes, but it's just this team is so bad. It's just been that way. Bueno says I can see Giants drafting an O-line to protect Dart. Yep. Arnie with another question: is it Mendoza or is it the best player available in your opinion? For me, it's Mendoza. If we have number one, number two, and the Giants, if they're number one, they don't get a quarterback. Um, get your quarterback for the future. Build it around him. Let's stop fucking around. Let's get to business. Let's get the guy for the future. That's it. That's it. We gotta start. We gotta start there. We took in a miniature step and at least thinking quarterback and drafting a guy in the 6th round, which he's on the practice squad currently. But we need to take this way more serious. So we have a top pick and number one, number two, you got to get your quarterback. You have to. We know Gino ain't it. Gino wants out. Doubt Gino's here next season at all. I'll be surprised if he is, especially if Pete's no longer here. He's out. He's gone for sure. Pickett probably gone too. We'll probably have AOC again because he's on that rookie deal. Other than that, everybody else is pretty much going to be gone. So let's see here. Arne says Jets and Browns will trade up to get Mendoza if he wins the national championship this year. I think I don't think the national championship is going to be that stamp that okay, you now you got to go ahead and get him because you won the national championship. I don't think that. I mean, look at what's his name from Ohio State last year. The guy fell, I think, in the 6th. He got picked up in the 6th round. I forgot his name. So winning the Natty doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, you're the top quarterback. It's all about performance. It's all about how you're able to go ahead and execute. I think that game versus Ohio State was a big key indicator on how he's able to go ahead and overcome adversity and really rally his team. That was a really close game back and forth. Guy got fucked up, went out for like a play or two and came back in and just lit these guys up against the best, probably one of the best defenses in the nation in college football. And he was able to go ahead and beat these guys, So just that alone, it's things like that where you go up against these tough teams and certain situations are going to go ahead and kind of be those indicators on how you're going to be able to go ahead and perform, right? So, yeah, let's see here. We should have kept Mariota. He was kind of pricey, bro. I think we were paying him like 10 per or 8 per year or something like that. I don't know what the cap wasn't that high that time, but yeah, I don't know. They tried him out in Atlanta and he didn't work out. I think even if we had kept him a year, I don't think he would have worked out. I think he probably would have left after like the following year that we kept him. So I think it would have been short-lived either way. So let's see. My guy Jason says Giants might go get Arvell Reese. Okay. Saints will go wide receiver, in my opinion. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I think they're really high on Tyler Shutt. I don't see them going on necessarily getting another quarterback. Hey, fuck, stranger things has happened. Look at fucking Cleveland. Went out and got like two quarterbacks this past draft. So nothing's for certain. Some cookie shit happens at times. So let's see. We are some of quarterbacks. We are sure some of quarterbacks are declared for the draft. If not, we'll trade down more picks. Yeah, it just depends who declares. Yeah, we'll know pretty soon. I think after the playoffs, we'll know who declares and who doesn't. So, we'll see. Bueno says, don't worry. Do you worry that if we get a first-time head coach after Carroll, that our new coach will be given the Brendan Carroll treatment, and people will call for him to be fired if we have another loser. Of course, bro. That's part of fucking playing for the Raiders. You're gonna get if you don't produce year one, they're gonna call for your head. That's just how it fucking goes. I don't think that's how that's. I don't think that's how it should go, but that's how it fucking usually goes. They call, if they only. It has to be. I think, and this is the thing with Raider Nation this year. I think our bar was lowered a little bit, and I think like a lot of us content creators, shout out to my guy Raider Nation Jesus, but he was one of these guys, and he can attest to that. I think we have already kind of tried to lower the bar and set the bar lower for everybody, and just like let them know, hey, I know y'all thinking we're gonna go to the playoffs, but just don't hold your fucking breath. Like there's a lot of things that have to happen, and then as the offseason progressed, and we saw certain things were not happening, we started letting people know, okay, this might be worse than what you think. So prepare yourselves. And then as the season started going and we started going through the first like 4 games, we let everybody know what it was. And then everybody's now starting to catch up. And we're having the reaction that we are. But the gameplay has been that much worse. So I think if we had a better record, if we would have been, if we were on the trajectory to be like 6-11, more on that note, would we still have this conversation? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think we would. I think if certain things would have been done, it's like, okay, we're on the right path. We're just a few pieces away from really having a real competitive team, a real push, and we're not getting blown out 5 times during the season and just looking straight sloppy, then I think Raider Nation would have a different feel to everybody. Everybody would be feeling different, but I think it's just we just played so terrible, so awful. This is where we're at now. This is what it is, So, yeah. Let me see here. My guy Jay says, "Is that defense coach for the Niners on your list of coaches to go after?" I heard that he might be on the list. Robert Saleh. He's probably going to be a guy that we possibly could go ahead and interview. I don't know. For me, I think he'd probably be a better fit being another DC here. I don't know if that's his aspirations. We'll see if he becomes the head coach. It is what it is. I prefer guys who are more offensive minded oriented. Joe Brady, Mike LaFleur, guys of that nature. I mean, there's guys like Chris Shula, which is, he's a DC for the Rams, but he's under the McVay tree, bro. So, anybody from that McVay tree is like fucking top tier, bro. So that'll probably be like the only exception. We got there's names been thrown around like Brian Flores. A whole lot of names started to come out of the woodwork. If we're gonna go ahead, if we're on the topic of head coaches, I would love to see just to interview to pick the guy's brain. Mike McCarthy. I know that's not a popular name, but I think with him, a lot of his bullshit was with Jerry Jones. They plateaued at a certain point and the playoffs, but at least these fuckers make the playoffs. Say what you say. They fucking made the playoffs. I would like to see him get an interview and see what that kind of develops into. If there's anything there. Brian Dable will be another guy, but I think that'll be more of an offensive coordinator type of guy. So it's going to be interesting. A lot of names are going to come out of the woodwork for us in the offseason. But whatever it is, tear this motherfucker down to the studs. Let's spy tech. You know already, bro. Let's buy tech. Go ahead and make those hires. The dude is not dumb. The dude is a smart dude. You know, from what it is, a lot of these picks looks like they're panning out. We don't know yet 100%, right? We need to see more playing time. But Caleb Rogers has looked decent. He's looked, you know, he's held his own. We've seen guys like Jack Besh step up, and you know he's created separation. Guy has hands, can catch the ball. He just needs more targets. I know there's other people that probably say a little bit different, but you know the guy can make separation. He needs to go ahead and work on his route running probably a little bit more. Obviously, the speed is not there, but hey, you know, they really didn't drop them for the speed. It dropped them more for that ability to go ahead and make those tough catches. Oh man, there was another guy too. Obviously Charles Grant's another guy. We haven't even seen him play yet, so we don't know what he looks like. You know, Tonka Hemingway, which is one of our defensive tackles that we picked up, he's getting some burn. So, you know, certain guys are looking like they're starting to go ahead and kind of show some signs of possibly having some talent there. We just haven't had that opportunity to go ahead and see these guys quite a whole lot. So it's hard to make assessments on some of these guys. But yeah. Let me go ahead and move on to this. What should we expect in the next 3 games? I think since we're on the talk of the draft talk of tank and all this shit, you know, with 3 games literally being left in this nightmare of a season, everybody's kind of like ready to go ahead and blow a sigh of relief of this nightmare finally being over. Let me go ahead and pull this up. We're going to go ahead and look at this together as a fam. So next game this Sunday versus the Texans in Houston. Then we got the Giants on the following Sunday in Las Vegas. This is a tank bowl. Then you have the Chiefs to round it off, to cap it off January 4th, the first week of the new year in Las Vegas with no Patrick Mahomes. So Texans being what they may, they have a really good defense. I don't see us winning this game. Same thing with the Chiefs, even though Blue Minshew is now the starting QB, and it's probably going to be the starting QB for the rest of the season. You know, they still have talent there. You know, even if they're a shell of themselves, we've seen that happen where we play teams that are on a downward trend, and like again, we're the Neosporin of the league. We're probably going to give these fucking guys a good victory to go ahead and end off their fucking season, and I'm pretty sure they want to go ahead and end on a high note. So I really doubt us winning this game, especially getting blown out literally back in October. So I think it would just be a closer game, but I don't see us pulling out the win on that one. It's going to be the Giants, or it's going to be that close game. I still think the Giants have that edge. I don't want to say it's going to be up in the air now that we kind of saw what the Eagles did and went through that game and everything that's coming out. I don't think that the confidence level is diminishing in the team. You know, we know that there's issues on the field. There's probably more shit going on in the locker room. So the confidence level, as the performances keep dwindling down, I don't think we're going to have what it takes to go ahead and overcome the Giants in Las Vegas. But it's going to be a closer game. But I think it's going to be a game like the Giants just had with the Commanders, where we lose out by like 8 points, by like 10 points. It's going to be something closer than a 31-0 game. It's going to be closer than what it was versus the Browns, where you know, it was a 24-10 type of scenario. I think it's going to be like we lose by 7. We could possibly lose by a field goal, It could be that close. It all depends. Just the way this next game goes is going to be a little bit of a key indicator. How we perform versus the Texans is going to give us an insight versus the Giants. It's all on this confidence level. It does make a difference. It does make a factor. If the team is literally quitting on the field, we're not going to beat the Giants. So that number one is going to be almost a for sure thing. Nothing's for sure, but it's going to be more of a reality. If we just cannot, if our confidence level just keeps on going down and down. So, yeah, these next games are not going to be pretty. I don't expect us to win any more games for the rest of the season. And I think that we're going to be able to go ahead and end off this season, at least on the high note, and getting the number one overall pick in this year's draft. It's been almost 20 years since that's happened. And hopefully we can bring some good juju and just not think about how it went wrong all those years ago. But I just wanted to go ahead and kind of put that in perspective on what you should expect for the next 3 games. Again, nightmare is almost over, folks. We're almost there. Let's see what happens. But yeah, we can go ahead and breathe a sigh of relief in just a few weeks. So let's see. Let's see what happens for sure. Yeah, so yeah, for the whole Trey Crosby now bullshit, like stop. You know, that's one thing that I have agreement on with guys like Lincoln and Q. You don't trade the best players away. We just put that dude on an extension. He ain't going nowhere, bro. He's not. You build around that. It's like you're gonna gut the whole team. Like really, you're gonna give up all your best players for draft capital, and again, hoping that they pan out. And these guys become stars themselves. Okay. That makes real fucking sense. If you're a couple pieces, that would make better sense. I don't think we're in that situation. I think this is a situation where you can go ahead and have to rely half of it on free agency to go ahead and fill in a lot of these gaps. But you need to be aggressive. You need to be smart in free agency. You have to go ahead and mix it with top tier talent and also talent, possible gems out there. But it has to be a mixture of the draft and free agency. Can't just be the draft and can't just be free agency alone. It has to be both. It goes hand in hand. So yeah, we'll see. But I get your point, bro, for sure. Let me see here. I'm gonna go ahead and cap it off of this. My overreaction. Another shitty game, another shitty year. I mean, come on now. We're literally the stepping stone. We're the Appalachian State to all the teams in the NFL. If you're a struggling team in the NFL, come see the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll go ahead and help you out and give you a confidence boost going in to your playoff run or help you turn your season around. Come and see the Las Vegas Raiders. This is where we're at now. We're the laughing stock. Literally, we got trolled on national television by a commentator telling us, like that dude who's in the chat right now, to go ahead and trade, our best defensive player for draft picks, right? That's going to go ahead and solve everything. This is how bad that this team has become, that you have outsiders coming in and letting us know, telling us how to go ahead and fix this issue, right? It's funny how we've fallen so far from the beginning of the season, then the beginning of this off season until now, the optimism that everybody had, and and how the toxicity and um just the whole vibe has just manifested itself from the season, you know. And yes, we blame Pete Carroll for this, but who else is there to blame? You know, you can blame the front office. I guess you can. They have a hand in it as well. They're the ones to they're the ones that made the hire, right? At the end of the day, Mark is the one that allowed this to happen. But we're here now, right? We're slow. We're so close on doing something we haven't done in almost 2 decades, and having the number one overall pick, but having a performance and having a coach who is so out of touch of reality, or so inept to go ahead and really come to terms of what's going on with this team, that they're not the best solution for the future. This might be a parting of the ways, and I hope there there's a very amicable resolution to Pete Carroll for whatever that is. I don't see him being here as the head coach. He shouldn't be here as a head coach. I think that, you know, the better days have passed him by, and I think that, this is the perfect time for him to go ahead and ride off the sunset. We tried the experiment; it didn't work. You know, and this didn't work. It utterly, utterly failed. It failed to the point of embarrassment, and it's time for a change. Uh, Again, we're put in this predicament that if we're damn if we do, damn if we don't type of situation where we have to make the change. We have to. If you want to go ahead and run with another year, 2 years of Pete Carroll, I don't know how in right mind you can do that for your own sanity, for everybody's sanity. You know, how can we go ahead and go through this again? Whatever this future lies, whether we go out for a quarterback, we go out and draft the top lineman, wide receiver, whoever. Pete Carroll is not going to be a part of that, and that's what it's starting to go ahead and boil down to. With a performance like 31-0, being blown out, and saying that everybody played their fucking asses off, everybody fought hard. When you see that on the field, and you having guys getting fights on the sideline, arguments, there is something seriously wrong in this team. There's something seriously wrong going on if you can't come to terms with the locker room is slowly starting to fucking be lost. It's hard, and I get it. It's hard to go ahead and keep the rah and keep positivity when you're 2-12, you're 2-11. But there's a difference between executing playing clean football and just looking like straight dog shit. And we look like straight dog shit. We got owned. We got put. If that's not living proof that Pete Carroll shouldn't be here, I don't know what is. Do you really trust this man to go ahead and handle the number one overall pick, the number two overall pick for this team next year? Ask your guys, ask your guys yourselves that question, and really think about that before you answer. So don't answer. You don't have to answer me. Ask that to yourselves and be honest with yourselves. Do you really trust this man to go ahead and lead us for another year after the year we just went through? I don't. And again, I'm probably overreacting. But that is probably going to be my time for today. I appreciate you guys. Salute to everybody here. Again, man, thank you for pulling up and rocking with me on this Monday night. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on this channel. Even with all the crazy children in the back, this is a family show. Even though I cuss up a storm, I don't give a damn. It's Raised Unfiltered. Even my son is going off saying this is bullshit. This is bullshit, Dad. I won't stand for this. He's had enough. See? You hear him.
He could have been a Saints fan.
No, he's never going to be a Saints fan. How dare you? God damn it. Don't you say that. Blasphemy in my house, woman. Salute to everybody. Oh, man. Appreciate you guys. There you go. It ain't going to happen, my guy. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is not going to happen. You didn't even know what he said. Oh, it was a comment. It was a comment that was posted up on my boy. See, this is, and Arnie, you just missed it. I talked about that earlier. It's about us still living in the past. And those comments like that, I'd rather have a Pete instead of blame it on Pete Carroll. See, we live in the past. Let's start living in the future. Start thinking towards the future. We can let's start thinking in the future. So whoever the next guy is gonna be, I hope he's a good guy. I hope he's the guy, he's the right guy. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But appreciate you, my guy Troy. Salute to you, man. Hey man, thank you. Salute. Thanks for pulling up, my guy. But it's gonna be a very interesting offseason, y'all. But again, that was my rant. That was my overreaction. Appreciate you guys pulling up and just chopping it up with me on this Raiders Unfiltered post game rant from yesterday. So salute to everybody. Really quick, make sure you guys go ahead and tap into the Raider Connection on Wednesday. Going to talk about this game, moving forward towards the next 3 games left on the schedule. So make sure you guys go ahead and pull up to that one on Wednesday with the fellas at 7 p.m. Pacific. I got to change this because we said 6, now we're going on 7. So I'm going to say 7 until they tell me otherwise. So make sure you guys tap into the Raider Connection, 7 p.m. every damn Wednesday, except for Christmas. Next week is Christmas, so we are not doing a show. So make sure you guys go ahead and pull up for that one. But good morning, Raiders. Make sure you guys go ahead and just check in on the channel. I'll let you guys know to confirm if we're gonna go ahead and have a Good Morning Raiders this Saturday coming up. I'll make sure if we're good to go ahead. We're good to go. So make sure you guys go ahead. But I am planning the 1-year anniversary show. First, that last game of the season, 1-year anniversary for Good Morning Raiders. So I got something lined up in the works. It's going to be a good one. So make sure you guys go ahead and pull up for that. I have some fun things planned up for that one. So, but other than that, appreciate you guys. I will go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and head on out of here. It is dinner time for me. So I will see you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you guys. As always, remember, just Raiders, baby. Salute. Peace.
Championship.